Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys 1/6 scale Deadpool and Wolverine figure unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at TVA Jacket Wolverine, aka Shirtless, ripped, battle-damaged Wolverine based off his appearance at the end of the movie. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down that way, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Deadpool and Wolverine content goes live. You know, TVA Jacket Wolverine from the end of the movie. He pops on the jacket to hide his body from people gawking at him, then he sits down and has some shawarma with Deadpool. Don't get me wrong, love those scenes, the jokes in them, but not my favourite look for Wolverine. Luckily, in 1/6 scale, you can ditch the jacket. I don't know what happened with this piece. So, initially when he was announced, they showed some pictures of him shirtless because he's got a full, seamless medical silicone upper torso. Then they took the pictures down, and any subsequent showings of this piece at conventions, he was wearing the jacket. Even in the blogger pictures, they posted shirtless ones, then they took them down, only leaving the ones up where he had the jacket on. So, maybe Disney stepped in, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, yes, you can remove the jacket. People were freaking out thinking that they ditched the seamless torso. They absolutely have not done that. Up front, as for the box art, image of Hugh Jackman wearing the jacket, the 3D embedded claw marks in the background behind him with translucent orange plastic inlays, some burning embers, Deadpool and Wolverine logo, and his name down below. This video is brought to you by JustinsCollection.shop, the home of the figure first aid kit, as well as other accessories to help your collection be the best it can be. The first aid kit contains multiple tools to help you with maintenance, styling rooted hair, and much more. We also sell crotch grabbers, soft rubber tips to prevent damage, and they're compatible with most modern Hot Toys base molds. Acrylic risers come in multi-packs. They're optically clear, thick and sturdy, and stackable. Check out the link to JustinsCollection.shop in the description. It is really weird, a little bit of controversy. I don't think this has ever happened to Hot Toys before, but they don't really release that many half-nude shirtless figures, now do they? On the side of the box, the claw marks continue on the edge from the front cover. His name once again, but now we've got some bullet casings. It doesn't really affect anything, but I kind of wish these claw marks were 3D as well, just to keep everything consistent. Around the back, more bullet casings, more bullet holes, big Deadpool logo in the middle, then over the top of that, warnings, legal information, and their store locations. I love how they do that with the Deadpool and Wolverine boxes. The slip covers are one main color, part of the outfit, so in this case, navy blue like the TVA jacket, whereas the inside box is usually the accent color, so we've got orange to match the TVA logo and the other accent bits and pieces on his jacket. Whereas with the yellow and blue suit Wolverine, the box was yellow and blue, and for brown suit Wolverine, it was brown and tan. So it's a theme that they've got going, and they've continued it with TVA Jacket Wolverine. Underneath the slipcover, the best friend's charm, and an open window showcasing Wolverine and all of his accessories inside. On the side of the box, a bunch of Deadpool's just crazy doodles dotted around the place, some claw marks, and his name in the middle. This has always been one of my favourite pieces of promo art from the movie, the Deadpool logo with Wolverine's claws running straight through the middle. It looks great on the back of the box here, but this random image of Wolverine half faded out, in my opinion, doesn't really add anything to the back of the box. It doesn't ruin it for me, but I just don't really think it needs to be there. Okay, moment of truth. First in-hand impressions for TVA Jacket Wolverine. You know what? Let's just stop calling him that. For battle-damaged Wolverine. So far, so good. There is a significant amount of weight to this piece. He's probably working with a die-cast endoskeleton, if I had to guess. What we're going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, this is some bloody brilliant reuse. It's actually more of a retool than reuse, but they have borrowed this display base mold from Dark Knight Rises Catwoman and Bane, then they heavily modified it for Battle Damage Wolverine. They ditched the back wall and the water effect that goes underneath it, and the railings. It's a lot more simplified now, but it's still a stunning little diorama display base. Heaps of room up top to pose Wolverine on it, and it represents the catwalk that Wade and Logan were standing on when they were trying to stop the Time Ripper at the end of the movie. There's heaps of different texture on the surface. The paint is just sublime. Even this metal grate flooring section in the middle looks a little bit shiny, so different finishes at play. The section up front comes across rusty, and we've got a chrome and textured black nameplate. I wish it didn't say TVA jacket underneath his name. Wolverine would have been perfectly fine for me, but I understand why they did that. It still retains the little feet at the bottom. They're even fully painted with washes over the top, and they're textured. It's basically like a little built-in riser. You don't need to add a riser to this display base. It would have been cool if you could open this up and store his accessories inside of it, because it is hollow. I just can't find a way to access the inside of this, unfortunately. Up top, a height-adjustable, wide scoop crotch grabber. The battle damage chest of drawers feels random, but there's claw marks everywhere, there's speckling all over it, there's silver chipping. This thing has seen some serious action. There's a dent at the bottom. This section of drawer just is meant to be sitting on the display base. It's a diorama element that may not end up in my display. I'm not sure yet, because I don't even remember seeing something like this in the scene in the movie. And to go along with the drawers, we've got some TVA propaganda and paperwork that's been sliced up so it comes across as though this stuff was inside of that before Wolverine absolutely annihilated it with his claws. This is pretty cool, actually. I'll be giving this to Deadpool, not Wolverine, in my display, probably the battle damage one. A bloodied up katana. Why did we not get two of these? I'm not sure, but there's blood on the handle and the blade. Even on the bottom, there's a little bit of blood. Oh, Hot Toys, you came this close to giving us a perfect accessory in this cowl. The paint applications, look at that speckling effect, that gloss that reveals itself as light bounces off the surface, the silver scratching, the blood, the grossness, that big splotch back there. There's so much texture on it. He can't wear this. That is my complaint with this. I will be removing this foam pad up front as well, because it really serves no purpose other than to hide all of this extra sculpt work. It's the same exact sculpt, shape, and size-wise as the fully wearable cowl, the actual head sculpt version, but there's no neck connector on the inside. Imagine if we could have put this on Battle Damage Wolverine. You can still install the other cowl from Yellow and Blue Wolverine on the body, and we'll try that, but I reckon this would have been even more badass. And lastly, a full array of hands, plastic claws, unfortunately, and they're not even chrome. We got chrome claws with brown and tan Wolverine, why not with the battle damage one? I will be using these die-cast claws from So Toys patch, because the detail on the hands is almost as good, and real metal claws? Who doesn't want that? Anyway, these are modern Hot Toys hands with so much skin texture and detail. They're also smaller than normal, so they're in scale with the body, and the fingers have been shrunk down. They're no longer giving us those sausage finger hands. Not sure what these are supposed to be for. Maybe holding the cowl? Dig the painted cuticles, though, and like I said, all of the detail on the skin. There's even little veins dotted around the place. These gripping hands, you can pry them open and pop the sword in there, easy as. You do not need to heat them up first. And lastly, two fingers splayed out, style pose hands, but I'm just now realizing we don't have closed fists for some reason. What we're going to do now, though, is get battle damaged Wolverine himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that, except for the claw hands, had to pop them on just to complete the look. Towards the end of the video, that's when we'll do some sick poses, bust out the dynamic moving camera. I promise you it will be worth it. With him simply rotating around in front of me, proportions are great. The jacket is form-fitting, it hugs the body well, the trousers extremely weathered, completely disheveled, plus there's some weathering and some battle damage on his head sculpt. But the one thing on my mind at this very moment is what does he look like without the jacket on? I'm pretty sure y'all are thinking the exact same thing. So let's not spend too long with him on the turntable wearing the jacket. It's a neat addition, but 99.99% of the time, I will be displaying him without the jacket. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Wolverine's head sculpt. It is a masterpiece. This head sculpt, I already sung its praises in the yellow and blue suit Wolverine review. I have no problem doing it again. The likeness to Hugh Jackman is undeniable. The expression with the exposed teeth, they look so real as well. They're subtly translucent. The 5 o'clock shadow, the wrinkles, the vein work. But now we've got the addition of battle damage. There's some blood on his cheek, his forehead. It looks suitably wet and glossy, very realistic. This sculpt still has the moving eyes, which I am dying to try out. Not necessarily with the jacket on look. We'll try it out later once we remove the jacket. But yeah, it's beautiful everywhere. The hairline, the beard, the stubble on his upper lip, how wrinkled that is. This has to be one of their best head sculpts of all time. Even around the back, look at those little strands of hair sticking off the main body of the sculpt work. The only little thing I would like them to adjust is, see that seam right there? If only they bring it up around the back of the ear, then follow the jagged sculpt work for the hair, then it would be pretty much invisible from almost every angle. So yeah, they're the exact same head sculpt, it's just that one has battle damage and the other doesn't. I've also noticed that the skin tone leans redder with the new battle damage one, whereas the sculpt on the right looks a bit more natural to me. We'll come back to the head sculpt because we need to move the eyes around and talk about how well integrated it is with the medical silicone seamless torso. But the jacket. Let's quickly get it out of the way first. Navy blue, black accents for the cinched sections for his wrists, the bottom of the jacket, and up top for the collar. Some orange around the base of the collar and for the TVA logo. The stitching is clean, fits the body well. There's even some sculpt work on the zipper up front, which is functional. You can open the jacket and you can remove it. I'm nervous that doing that continuously, like multiple times in a row, will wear the paint off the silicone body underneath it. So just pick a display option with or without the jacket and stick with that. It is a really nicely tailored jacket. All of the wrinkles are in scale. It's a thin, very lightweight fabric. I would totally rock a jacket like this in real life. It's just that on this figure, he wasn't necessarily designed to be displayed with it. Holy shit. This is a work of art. I already said the head sculpt was a masterpiece. I can't use that adjective again, but I sort of want to. We'll get in very close so you can see all of the granular detail. Let's talk about the construction. Medical silicone on the outside for the skin. It's soft. It's squishy. It feels like real human skin. It's kind of creepy in a way. When you get this, you will know what I'm talking about. Then the paint applications over the top. For the chest hair. The vein work. All of the little wrinkles. There's some shading. The blood. The battle damage. Yes, in the scene where we see him shirtless, there isn't all of this battle damage. They've taken some creative liberties by adding it, but it looks so realistic, how glossy and wet it comes across. I don't really mind that they added all of these scratches. Like I promised, macro. Just take it all in for a moment. The physique, the asymmetry for the abs, the chest hair is both sculpted and painted. You can feel that texture on the surface. The arm hair, the detail around the back, with the back muscles and the vein work there, the wrinkling in the arch of his back that disappears as you articulate him. This torso is a feast for the eyes, and it articulates surprisingly well. You will see what I mean when we get to the articulation segment. Back to the head sculpt for a second. How well is it integrated with the seamless torso? Perfectly. Like you can see the seam on the side, just barely. From front on, it is completely unnoticeable. To move the eyes around, it's a hollow head sculpt, plenty of access inside of it. The eyes are individually articulated, and I found that with the eyes looking up ever so slightly from underneath the furrowed brow, that's what works best for this Wolverine sculpt. If you put the eyes smack bang in the middle, looks a little bit goofy. Oh, you see that right there? Head tilt forward, angle it just a bit, work with that expression, work with the side eye. This is how I will be displaying him. Or maybe I'll put the cowl on from the blue and yellow costume Wolverine release. Let's try it. Okay, now I'm not sure. This cowled head sculpt is properly compatible with this body. Fully snaps on the neck connector, locks in place. I just wish we could use this top part for the cowl with the mouth plates because he's fully battle damaged except for this. Granted, it's not the biggest deal in the world that the top of his head is clean, but looking at all of this extra surface detail would have been a great option to be able to install it. And while this cut around the side of the head sculpt around the back looks kinda weird from front on, it's not really a problem. Okay, I guess you could argue that now that he's shirtless, this suggestive expression actually works for the piece. I'm not going to display him wearing this, but now you know what it looks like. I don't know, it's a little bit too big on the body, I think, sits too low on the neck. While it is fully compatible with the neck connector, I just can't see myself displaying him like this. If I was to go cowled, it would be with the yellow and blue one, not this. Oh, back to this head sculpt again. I cannot get enough of this sculpt, seriously, it really is just that good. The wrist pegs are very obvious. I tried to bring the medical silicone over the top of the wrist pegs to hide them. Doesn't really work, unfortunately. But if you've got some die-cast metal claw Wolverine hands, they pop right on the wrist pegs. While the skin tone match isn't flawless, yeah, I reckon he needs these die-cast claws. I've got the plastic claws back on now, just for the rest of this segment, for the sake of consistency. If you angle the hand just right, you can get the medical silicone to sit over the base of it and cover up the wrist peg. The position of his hand, it does look a little unnatural. I reckon you could work with it. Just make sure you're not putting too much pressure on the medical silicone because you wouldn't want to peel off the paint on the surface. Now that we've ditched the jacket, you can see the sculpted plastic belt and it is covered in blood and dirt and schmutz, and the X logo belt buckle is a little bit shiny. In fact, his pants themselves have a decent amount of shine to them. You may not like that because the outfit was definitely matte and full fabric in the movie, but it tells a story as though it's covered in, I don't know, oil and blood, and that's what's giving it that sheen. I'm not sure where Wolverine's cake went because he's very flat back here, whereas with the yellow and blue costume one, there was a roundness that seems to be lacking. There's blood all the way down to the knee pads. They're separate sculpted pieces that sit on the surface of the suit. They're not held on with Velcro. Be careful. I have seen some people's copies of Wolverine with the knee pads peeling off. Then lastly, the single piece sculpted boots. Gone are the days of split cut boot design, yet we still have a decent range of motion at the ankles. There's a hinge and swivel inside of them that really locks these feet in place when you get them in position. Sculpted buckles up front, some different textures, leather grain and mesh, then some light weathering, but it gets heavier towards the back, and on the underside with some fully sculpted tread. For a quick side-by-side comparison, this is peak. Peak, 1/6 scale, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, both figures. No matter which one you go with, you are going to be very satisfied. The seamless look on the left comes across so real on camera. That head sculpt, that upper torso, it is just undeniably good. And then we've got the figure on the right with the sleeveless arms, also medical silicone, the battle damage bits and pieces, and the cowl. I don't think a Deadpool and Wolverine display would be complete without both of these pieces. But proportions-wise, they're very similar. It's just that the arms are a little bit bigger on the figure on the right. Now, I have slightly modified my brown and tan Wolverine. The shoulder pads now sit flush. He's got some traps. That does not affect the height. However, he is a little bit taller than Shirtless Wolverine. But these two, they feel like they were designed to be displayed together. maybe holding hands, maybe trying to stop the Time Ripper from destroying Deadpool's universe. I don't know. But standing side by side, this is another incredible pairing. Going over articulation, starting off with Wolverine's head sculpt. Ball joint at the base of the seamless silicone neck, then a double ball peg underneath the head itself. Combined looking forward to there, going all the way back, that is so much range. Swivel and tons of pivot side to side. Arms will go up at the shoulders to there. Interestingly enough, not on ratchet joints. Instead, they're friction joints, but they're sturdy enough to hold for now. Going forward and back, medical silicone bunches a bit. Butterfly at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, but I would suggest bending the elbow first, then you've got some leverage to actuate that bicep swivel. Double bend at the elbow on ratchets going past 90. Then for the wrist peg, it's a ratcheted hinge and swivel. There's an air gap between the torso and the body underneath it, so there's some room for it to move, crunching forward on ratchets to there, going back to there, gets a little bit gappy up front though. Swivel and some pivot side to side. Legs will go forward on friction joints to there and spring back down a little, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Double bend at the knee on soft ratchets, going past 90. Then my favorite, single piece seamless boots made of soft PVC, good for forward and back, rotation, and some ankle tilt. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing is he is so seamless, except for the wrist pegs. I can't speak for everyone, but I would have been fine with no switch out hands. If they could have gone fully seamless, just given us closed fists with the claws and made them out of die cast too, that would have worked for me. The second annoying thing is in the movie, when we first see him like this, we get the big reveal of his physique. He was wearing the cowl. They include it, but unfortunately, it's not a full head sculpt, not compatible with the mouth plates from the yellow and blue costume Wolverine. You can't pop this on the figure. The third annoying thing, you could probably tell I'm struggling to find annoying things with this piece. The nameplate on the display base. Saying TVA jacket is too specific. Most of us, and Hot Toys know full well that this is the case, will not even be displaying him with the jacket on, so calling that out on the nameplate, it's a bit weird. The first cool thing is the medical silicone seamless torso. Of course it is. How could it not be? It looks and feels so real. It's soft and squishy. It moves so well. The detail is crazy. The chest hair, the belly button, the asymmetry for the abs, the vein work even, plus the battle damage. Yes, it's not 100% movie accurate for him to be battle damaged like this, but showing off all of this gross, wet, fresh-looking blood adds a ton of surface detail. The second cool thing, I can already see the comments. Justin, how can the second cool thing be an accessory that's not even included with this figure? I hear you. It's not the accessory itself, it's the compatibility. All of the Wolverine sculpts, including the brown and tan ones, are compatible with all of the Wolverine releases. So if you've got the yellow and blue costume Wolverine, chances are you do if you've decided you want this. The cowled head sculpt is compatible with this body. The third cool thing is a bit of a stupid one and really shouldn't even be a thing, but if you, like me, have broken katanas on your clean and battle damaged Deadpools because they're made of plastic and they're super fragile, now you've got a spare one. Comes with a TVA jacket Wolverine, not really an accessory, I display with him anyway. Slots right into the sheath on Deadpool's back. Wrapping up on TVA jacket / battle damaged Wolverine, this figure is great. Is he essential? Absolutely not. Is he a little bit random? Yeah, potentially. I'm just trying to imagine the pitch meeting when Hot Toys team went and sat down with the licensing folks over at Marvel. In that meeting room, there would have been a massive pause, just awkward silence, when Hot Toys laid out their plans for the line, and it included blue and yellow suit Wolverine, brown and tan, Age of Apocalypse, and shirtless Wolverine from the end of the movie. At some point, the Marvel people said to Hot Toys, look, you can make it. You can do the shirtless physique, but just make sure you cover it up. You need to include the TVA jacket. Then this figure was born. They got so caught up with could they do it, they didn't stop to think if they should do it. don't get me wrong, I am all over this thing. The proportions, the head sculpt, the weathering, the shirtless upper torso that's medical silicone and is packed with detail. I love it. But I'm not sure everyone will get it, if that makes sense. Like, they'll come into the collection room and they'll see a half-naked Wolverine, then they'll look at you and be like, really? Nude Wolverine? That's what you wanted for your collection? I'll proudly say absolutely, because look at the detail on it, but it's not going to be a piece for everyone, and I totally understand that. So at the end of this, is it a must-have? For me, for you, potentially, but not for everyone. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.